You don't say I'm fine because you are fine. You say it because at some level it feels safer than the truth. But that safety isn't random. It's built on layers of biology, psychology, and social conditioning that most people never consciously notice. At the biological level, your brain is constantly trying to minimize threat, not just physical danger but social danger. Rejection, judgment, conflict. Your nervous system treats these almost like survival risks. When someone asks, "Are you okay?" your brain runs a rapid calculation. Is honesty safe here? If the answer is even slightly uncertain, it defaults to the lowest risk response. I'm fine. It's not honesty versus lying. It's safety versus exposure. Psychologically, this ties into something deeper. Emotional economy. Expressing how you truly feel costs energy. It requires clarity, vulnerability, and often the risk of misunderstanding. So your mind uses shortcuts. I'm fine becomes a compressed signal, a way to avoid unpacking something that feels too complex or too heavy in the moment. It's not that you don't know how you feel. It's that translating feeling into language is harder than people think. There's also a hidden identity layer. Over time, many people unconsciously build a self-image around being low maintenance, strong, or easy to deal with. Saying I'm not fine threatens that identity. It risks shifting how others see you and how you see yourself. So you protect the identity, even if it means suppressing the truth. In this way, I'm fine isn't just a response, it's a form of self-preservation. Historically and culturally, this behavior has been reinforced for generations. In many societies, emotional restraint is rewarded more than emotional honesty. People who keep it together are seen as reliable, mature, even admirable. But there's a hidden cost. You learn to perform stability rather than experience it. You become fluent in appearing okay, even when you're not. There's also a paradox that most people miss. The more often you say I'm fine when you're not, the harder it becomes to even recognize what you actually feel. Your brain adapts. It starts filtering out emotional signals because they're consistently ignored. Over time, this creates a subtle numbness, not because you lack emotion, but because you've trained yourself not to process it fully. So eventually, I'm fine stops feeling like a lie and starts feeling like the only available answer. Economically speaking, relationships also operate on perceived cost and return. If past experiences taught you that opening up leads to dismissal, conflict, or being a burden, your mind updates its model. Honesty has a poor return on investment. So you conserve emotional resources. You keep things internal. You say I'm fine not because you believe it, but because you've learned that the alternative doesn't pay off. But here's the deeper insight. I'm fine is rarely about deception. It's about timing. Often you're not refusing to be honest. You're waiting for a moment that feels safe enough, clear enough, or meaningful enough to express the truth. The problem is that moment rarely arrives on its own, so the truth stays unspoken, not because it doesn't matter, but because it never finds the right conditions to exist, and this creates a quiet contradiction. You want to be understood, but you filter the very signals that would allow others to understand you. The real shift doesn't come from forcing yourself to always be honest. That's unrealistic. It comes from noticing the moment you choose I'm fine. That pause, that split second, is where awareness begins. Because once you see the pattern, you realize something powerful. The phrase was never about your feelings. It was about your relationship to safety, identity, and risk. And when that becomes clear, you don't have to suddenly reveal everything. You just need to start being slightly more accurate. Not I'm fine, but maybe, I don't know how to explain it. Not full vulnerability, but a small crack in the surface. That's how honesty actually grows. Not in dramatic confessions, but in small, precise adjustments. Because the truth is, most people aren't fine. They're just very skilled at sounding like they are. And if you made it this far, you already see things most people don't. If you like this video, so subscribe.